So I recently had cataract surgery, and the whole idea of cataract surgery is to kind of replace the lens, which helps you to see a lot better by replacing some of the junk that was in their eye. And I'm going to get the left done in a very short period of time. But in the left, it's kind of exciting because the doctor told me that I now have 20/20 vision for distance in this eye. That's the first time that's happened since I was in my teens. It's amazing, it really is. But through this whole cataract process, I've kind of gotten excited about reading John 9. It's one of my favorite stories in Scripture. And it's the story of the blind man who Jesus and his disciples approach, and his disciples ask the question, which is not unusual for the Jewish culture: was it this man who sinned, or was it his parents who sinned? Jesus steps up and says, neither. It's actually for God's glory that he is blind. And so what Jesus does is he spits on the ground, makes some mud, and puts the mud on the blind guy's eye, and he says, go wash in the pool of Siloam. So he does, and guess what? The guy sees. It's a little better than the surgery that I went through. But the cool thing is that I believe he actually saw 20/20 the minute he washed the mud off. But here's the rest of the story. So the Pharisees don't understand how this happened. That this sinner, they think it's a sinner, is healing this blind man. And so they question him, and he again is telling them, I don't know, I can see now. So they call his parents. His parents come in and they say, I don't know, he's been blind since birth. I can't figure it out. He can see now. And in the end of the story, he actually says the only thing that was standing between him and blindness was Jesus. The story really isn't about a man's blindness. It's about spiritual blindness, because at the end of the chapter, Jesus steps up and talks to the Pharisees who are having this real difficulty. And I want to read something, but I got to get my cheat, because even though I've been healed, I'm not 100% healed. I still need glasses to read. So when Jesus heard that they had thrown him, the blind guy, the formerly blind guy, out, when he found him, he said, do you believe in the Son of Man? And the guy asked, who is he, sir? And he says, who you see, in fact, is the one speaking to you now. And he says, Lord, I believe. And he becomes a Christian. Isn't that amazing? But it's still the Pharisees that are having a hard time with this whole thing. Some Pharisees who were with him heard him say this and asked, what? Are we blind too? Jesus says, if you were blind, you would not be guilty of sin. But now that you claim that you can see, your guilt remains. Here's the deal. How's your spiritual eyesight? Is it 20/20? Or are you still kind of struggling with nearsightedness, that's something quite obvious in front of you, the Son of God? You can see, but you don't fully understand. Or are you farsighted? That is, you can see in distance, you see heaven, but you're not looking at the stuff really close. So my encouragement to you is to read John 9 and think of yourself as the blind man. The thing that stands between you and spiritual blindness is Jesus. Have you taken him into your heart and into your eyes today?